My landlord claimed I owed him 6 months of unpaid rent. He forgot every rent check had been deposited into his own account. I rented the same 2-bedroom apartment for almost 7 years. It wasn't anything fancy, but it was clean, close to work, and the rent was affordable. My landlord, Mr. Collins, was an older guy who preferred paper checks instead of online payments because he said he trusted handwritten records more than computers. Every month, I'd write the check, hand it to him personally, and he'd usually text me a simple, "Received, thanks." It became such a routine that I never thought twice about it. I also kept carbon copies of every check because my father had always told me, never throw away proof that you paid someone. At the time, it sounded overly cautious. Years later, it turned out to be the smartest financial habit I'd ever developed. Everything changed when Mr. Collins decided to sell the building. About 2 weeks before my lease expired, he called saying I couldn't get my security deposit back because I supposedly hadn't paid rent for 6 different months over the previous 2 years. I actually laughed because I thought he was joking. He wasn't. A few days later, I received a formal demand letter claiming I owed nearly $9,800 in unpaid rent, late fees, and legal costs. He even threatened to send the debt to a collection agency if I didn't pay immediately. When a few neighbors heard about it, they quietly assumed I must have been living rent-free for months, without anyone noticing. It was amazing how quickly people accepted the accusation without asking a single question. I knew I'd paid every month, but proving it was another matter. That night, I opened the folder where I'd kept copies of every rent check. Every single one was there. The check numbers matched my bank statements perfectly. Then I logged into my online banking account and downloaded scanned images of every canceled check. The front showed my handwriting. The back showed something even more important. Every check had been endorsed and deposited into Mr. Collins's business account. The bank's processing stamps included the exact deposit dates. 6 checks. 6 different months. Every one of them had already been cashed by him. Then I noticed something else. After almost every payment, Mr. Collins had texted me, "Received. Thank you." I still had every message. My attorney organized everything into a simple timeline. The lease agreement, the monthly payment schedule, the canceled checks, the bank deposit records, the text messages confirming receipt. Even the annual rent increase notices matched the payment amounts exactly. During mediation, Mr. Collins insisted his accounting records clearly showed those 6 months as unpaid. The mediator spent several minutes reviewing the documents before asking one question. If these rent payments were never made, why did your bank accept and deposit every one of these checks into your own account? Mr. Collins didn't answer immediately. Instead, he quietly asked if he could review the canceled checks himself. About 10 minutes later, he admitted his former property manager had switched accounting software the previous year. Several rent payments had been entered under the wrong tenant file, making it appear I still owed money even though the bank had already received every payment. Rather than checking the bank deposits first, he'd trusted the spreadsheet and assumed it was accurate. The demand letter was withdrawn before the week ended. My full security deposit was returned. A few days later, Mr. Collins mailed me a handwritten apology along with reimbursement for the attorney's consultation fee I'd paid to defend myself. He also admitted he'd already sent similar notices to 2 other former tenants before discovering the bookkeeping mistake. Fortunately, both of them had also kept good payment records. Looking back, I realized paperwork doesn't exist because we expect people to lie. It exists because honest people make mistakes too. Memories fail. Software fails. Accounting records fail. But a canceled check showing money entering someone's own bank account is almost impossible to argue with. Ever since then, I've kept copies of every lease, every receipt, every payment confirmation, every important email, and every bank statement connected to major expenses. Not because I expect another dispute, but because I've learned that protecting yourself takes only a few minutes. Trying to rebuild your reputation after someone says you never paid can take much longer.